right, welcome back. Inspire your dish. Today we're going to talk about rehydrating dried mushrooms. Something fun. You always have mushrooms in the cabinet. They make great sauces. You can throw them in pastas, throw them in risottos, throw them in a relish, throw them in just about anything you can really think of. They hold a lot of great flavor. The broth that they're going to be rehydrating in, you can use as a cooking agent. You can put them in soups. You can do lots of stuff. So today we're going to rehydrate some Morel mushrooms, some of my favorite, like I've already talked about. A lot of family back in Michigan, we grew up on these. Morel mushrooms are definitely one of my favorites. And we'll definitely be doing some more shows on getting those fresh, how to clean them. Just doing a simple, honestly, just a little bit of not garlic. You can do garlic, but I used to do a little bit of butter, salt, pepper, over a little crusty bread, you're done. Even just plain, absolutely amazing. So basically, I got some dried morels coming from Far West Fungi. They're the same group that did the grow your own mushrooms at home thing, and these are that bowl of shiitakes that we harvested from them. Basically, the kind of rule is for every 3 ounces of dried mushroom, rehydrated, that'll equivalent about to a pound of mushrooms. But I got a little scale here. Why don't we weigh out? Woo! Oh, that smells good. Those are funky. Yeah, I'm gonna do weigh out an ounce. Fun thing with morels, you really can't grow them. It's something that you have to hunt for them. They grow, they have underground systems like all mushrooms do, but these don't really grow in clusters. They grow individually. There'll be a little field, you'll have one here, one here, one here, one here, one here, but it won't be like an oyster cluster. It won't be like the shiitakes all growing right next to each other. These will be like little Christmas trees, maybe like a foot apart, a meter apart, stuff like that. Let's see what we got. But yeah, they weigh nothing. So that's kind of crazy how much they're gonna hydrate back up to all this goodness. I got a buddy right now up in Oregon who's just getting them all over his ranch. But definitely these are a treat if you can get your hands on some. Definitely worth the price. I've seen them as cheap as $12 a pound. That's like killer cheap. And I've seen them as expensive as almost like $40 a pound. I want to say probably average around 20 to 30 bucks, depending who you're getting it from. It's always good to know your grower, know your fisherman, know your everything, because they're the ones that are going to make cost a little less. You're getting it right from the source, freshness. So I got about 1 ounce right here that we picked out. So it's a 2 ounce bag. Let's see how many of that comes out to. That's kind of fun. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, about 28, 29 or so. Not bad. Usually, if you go out and get about 30, 40 in a day, that's going to be a pretty good yield. But like I said, they're hard to come by. Next, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to take kind of like lukewarm. I had it on the burner, didn't bring it to a boil. Has a little bit of bubbles in it, but just kind of warm water. We're just going to pour it in, kind of cover it up, and just let it sit. One thing to always keep in mind with morels like I said, that they're always foraged. You have to know who's foraging them, how long they've sat before they were dried. A lot of the times, you can get little beetle worms inside of them. They can have a lot of pine needles in them, a lot of dirt, a lot of funky stuff. So generally the way I've always been taught is you get the whole mushroom while it's still fresh, cut it in half real quickly. You get a nice big bowl of salted water, heavy salt. We're not talking like a little pinch. We're talking like the box type salted water. You just start tossing them in there one by one. Cut, go. Give it a good soak for a little bit. Then you're gonna pull them out, and then at the end you're gonna just see it's kind of like bugs and dirt and grit and whatnot on the bottom that you kind of pulled out of it. Where I'm getting at is these still can be very gritty. And afterwards, what we're going to do is I'll show you. We're going to go through. We're going to kind of squeeze the juices out, put them in a bowl. They're going to be ready to be to cook with. And then what's left over is going to be this awesome mushroom broth. The only thing you got to be careful about is it can be a little bit gritty. So we're going to probably send it through a coffee filter, and then that will get any little impurities, but the flavor is going to be unreal killer. If If you haven't had a Morel, I highly recommend it. If you have, please leave your comments below. Let me know what you think about them. If you have any questions about Morels, put a comment below. I'll do my best to answer those. Fun thing about them, they really also isn't a similar, poisonous mushroom. There's like a brain mushroom that looks kind of similar, squiggly, but I mean, when you see them side by side, you're like, that looks like a really weird, not even a Morel, like kind of like goopy, slimy, kind of rubbery. And then you got these that look like perfect little Christmas trees. So I mean, if you've been around them just a little bit, you can really distinguish the difference. I've never even seen a brain one. I've just seen them on the internet. But these are pretty safe to go out and forage if you see them anywhere. They come in whites, goldens, grays, blacks. They go all the way up to Alaska. I think they go all the way down to like Palm Springs on the East Coast. West Coast. I forgot where I live. And then the East Coast gets them as well. But like I said, usually get them in the springtime. It's when the snow is melted. And it's just right when the fresh, the first greens are coming up. The first everything's coming up. So we're going to put these 2 mushrooms in a risotto. We're going to rehydrate these, and we'll be back in just a second. All right. So we had some dried morels. We've now let them hydrate for, let's say, about like 45 minutes to an hour or so. So basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through every single one. It's gonna kind of pinch them a little bit, get a little bit of that leftover juices out, and then we're gonna retain all of this liquid as well. We're gonna use it as a braising stock. Not braising stock, take that back. We're gonna use this as liquid for our risotto. No braising stock. All right. So I did put a little weight on it just so that everything was held down. Yeah. It was a little fun. They're called chef presses. They come in all different sizes, shapes, forms, all that type of good stuff. So it just holds everything under. Just kind of tucked them under so everything was in the water. But actually one of my old chefs invented this. He's the creator. Chef Bruce Hill. But yeah, chef press. You can find them online. Local, right here in Oakland. But yeah, so basically, we took that out. And basically we're just going to go through every single mushroom. And like, these ones have little holes on the bottom, like little Christmas trees. So basically I'm just gonna give it a little squeeze. Each one, just kind of get a little bit of leftovers out. Mushrooms always have a ton of water, ton of moisture. This is what you're cooking out, so this is a good opportunity to kind of get some of that out. And then we're gonna cook with the actual juices, which is gonna be awesome. They do usually have a lot of grit in them. They can have a lot of sand, they can have dust, they can have twigs, they can have bugs. I've had one year, they're covered in beetle larvae. They're coming from the ground. So basically what we're gonna do is once we squeeze through all of these, I'll put this liquid into this container just to make it a little easier to pour. And then we're going to just put it through it's got like a strainer and a coffee filter. And then I'm just gonna slowly pour it over. I don't want it to go everywhere, so I won't pour it all at once. May as well just sit off to the side until you're ready to cook with them. Best to use them, same day. Don't want to hydrate them and use them in like a few weeks. Probably won't work too well. All right, so we got pretty much everything's out. Looking good, nothing's dripping from it. There's no water in the bowl. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this liquid that, put your fingers on the bottom, you're gonna feel some grit and whatnot, what I've been talking about. I'm gonna just pour it in this to make it a little easier to pour in. I'm gonna do it over the sink real quick so I don't make a big mess. Bada boom, bada bang. Usually it's like when you pour over the sink, you never spill. It's when you don't pour over the sink when you spill. So, usually that's the general rule. And then basically what we're gonna do is I'm just trying to make sure that it doesn't come out of the filter. Obviously we get a bigger filter, that'd be ideal, but we're just doing what we can work with. And I'm just gonna strain right into a pot because the pot is gonna be how we're gonna just reheat it. And we're just gonna ladle it right into our risotto. So, yeah, it's working pretty well. It's controlling, filtering. Look at that, look at that. It's like we're making coffee, but it's mushroom broth. So we're just gonna let that drain off. And basically this is how you rehydrate mushrooms. Porcinis are really popular, morels are popular, shiitakes are popular, a lot of Japanese style mushrooms, meitakes. Great for soups, give a lot of flavor to the soups. If you didn't want to rehydrate it, so what's also fun is you can take the actual mushroom and you can blend it up and make a nice little powder, a little dust, great seasoning. Marinating meats before you cook them. Before in the past, I've taken a whole bunch of onions, just normal regular mushrooms, garlic, hydrated them completely, all the moisture out, put it in a blender, blend it all up. It made a great little, your own little seasoning. So this is how to hydrate. If you have any questions, please leave them below. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. Please hit that like button, and we'll see you next time. Inspire your food.
Inspire your dish.
Inspire your dish. Wait.